Hi guys, so today I'm going to be cleaning the zebra Danio tank because if you've watched the fish room tour video, you would have seen how much green algae is in this tank, and it's just a bit extreme. I mean, it's even worse now, so today I'm going to be trying to tackle this, trying to remove as much as I can, and over the next few weeks continually battling to get it in control a little bit more. So yeah, I'm going to take you guys along for the journey, and hopefully you'll see the improvements. As you can see, this tank is an absolute disaster, and I think 9 times out of 10 I probably would have just given up and shut the tank down and started again, but I want to see if I can get it back. Because zebra Danios are prone and known jumpers, I'm going to just take a little bit of water out of the tank first, just drop that water level a little bit to make it a little bit less likely that they launch themselves out while I'm doing quite an intense maintenance session. The botanicals that are in this tank are also absolutely covered in this algae, and I've got no way of scrubbing these. So instead I'm going to remove them, let them dry out, and perhaps boil them again, just to sterilise them for use in a future project. I've already boiled some new botanicals which I've not used before to go into this tank at the end. Now it's time to tackle the glass. I'm going to use the NT Labs algae sponge for that. I find them absolutely brilliant for getting rid of even the most stubborn algae, which this hair stuff is absolutely one of those. So it's going to take me a while, so let's speed it up and get this done. Now that the glass is clean, it's time to do the hardscape, and I just use a cheap toothbrush for that. I find it gives me the delicate touch needed for some of the smaller stones while still being abrasive enough to get rid of that stubborn algae. None of this hardscape is glued down at all, so there is a little bit of movement in some of the stones and the wood, which is a little bit annoying, but none of them are moving so much that it's going to ruin the layout. As you can see, I've stirred up a lot of stuff. I've got quite a bit of the aqua soil creeping through the front, which I need to siphon out and put more stones in to block that off. I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing very well trimming these plants while it's this murky, so I think I'm going to do a water change and then come back either later today or tomorrow and then do another second batch, second scrub, trim the plants, and yeah, just really hammer this tank over the weekend. That's the plan, hopefully. So just going to do another bucket full of water, so another 10 litres out, take this aqua soil out, siphon up some of the algae that's sat on the substrate. So, done the water change, got fresh water dechlorinated and buckets ready to go. So I'm just going to pour that in slowly, and then I think that's it for today. I'm feeling a bit tired, it's just a dead leaf I need to pull out there. I need to go and cook dinner, so I'm going to do the filter maintenance and the plant maintenance and another algae scrape and water change tomorrow morning. So it's the next day, tank's cleared nicely, and now it's time to do the second clean. So I'm going to be trimming the plants, I'm going to be scrubbing the rocks and the wood again, and I'm going to do filter maintenance as well. This time I'm also going to use a liquid carbon to kill off any of the remaining algae, so I'm going to spot dose a bit of that as well, especially on some of the leaves of the Lagenandra and stuff, where there is obviously not I can't really scrub those, so I'm just going to try and kill it off using a chemical. Also need to add botanicals in and firm up some of the retaining wall to keep the aquasoil back, because already some of it's come forward. So that's the job for now. It's looking a little bit better already, just from that first maintenance session. Just a long way to go still. So I'm just going to trim and replant some of the cuttings, obviously using the NT Labs Pro Care range. So I've got the nano scissors and the long straight tweezers, and that's just going to sort out these. So I've now sorted out all the plants. It's time to sort out the filter too. Overnight, it's going to have pulled out so much of that green algae that was floating in the water that the sponges are definitely going to need a good clean. Got to check for baby shrimp before discarding all of that water. Luckily, none in there today. So yeah, give the sponges a good clean and get the filter nice and running smoothly. You might have seen a few patches of water on the carpet there. Yeah, I should have brought my towel up. So while there's no water movement in the tank, I'm going to use some liquid carbon just to target dose some of the algae on the leaves with the Lagenandra. I'm going to repeat the dose a few times this week so I can get at some of the harder to reach parts of the wood as well. So I'm now just going to leave that to do its thing for 5 to 10 minutes before I then fill it up again. Filter's now been cleaned, so hopefully this will make a real big difference to the amount of algae that I'm going to be seeing. In the meantime, I'm just going to go find some of the little bits of pebbles that I've got to block some of these gaps, and I'll bring the botanicals up as well. More rocks have been added. It's now time to add the botanicals. I'm going to be using a mix of beech and oak leaves, and originally the plan for this tank was not going to use any leaf litter, but I just didn't ever think it looked quite right, and so I've added a decent handful of both of those leaves to the aquarium. Filter's on. It's looking really nice with the leaves added in. It is early in the morning at the moment, so I'm actually going to turn the lights back off. They are not meant to be on. So I'll turn them back off for now and let the fish settle in and the water clear up a bit. I'm then going to introduce some more Neocaridina shrimps. There are a few in there and one amano in there, but I'm thinking if I just add a bigger colony in there, hopefully they'll help keep that algae at bay a little bit. So yeah, I'll come back later today, adding some shrimps. So, caught my shrimps. I'm just going to pop them on the end of the tank here and use my little cup just to add some water. Now the reason I'm going to do this and acclimatise them slowly, which I don't always do when moving fish between my tanks, is because this tank has quite a lot of the Aguaza scape soil in, or one of the aquarium sort of planted substrate soils, which does have some effect on water chemistry and parameters. It sort of locks away carbonates and sets a really stable pH, which my other tank does not have. So this could actually be slightly different to what they are used to, so therefore they need to be properly acclimatized. It shouldn't be so far off that they need to be drip acclimatized, but definitely hour just slowly adding water in is going to be good for them just to help tick over. Anyway, I won't film the rest of this, and I'll come back when I release the shrimp into the tank. So I've on purposely picked out some of the larger shrimp because these Danios will absolutely eat shrimplets. I'm also going to pour the shrimp into the dense plant mass to give them the best chance of hiding as quickly as possible. You can see here that there was a bit of excitement, but they never actually managed to catch them because they were too big and too quick. But young shrimplets would have become a tasty snack. So I'm not expecting to see too much breeding in this tank from the shrimps. So it's been a week since I started working on this tank. As you can see from behind me and the overlay footage that I will add to this, the tank's looking so much better than it was when I first started. And it just goes to show that the algae, especially down on the wood, is just from a lack of maintenance and upkeep than anything else. Obviously, if I had more plant growth in there to shade some of the wood out, it would have meant it less likely to go to that extent, but it was definitely on me that this tank started looking not so good. So I'm so glad I put the effort in, got this tank looking far better. Obviously it's not perfect. I'd like the plants to grow in a bit more, but I've not given them a chance. It's only been a week since I did a heavy trim, so there's still time for that to happen. Obviously the fish looking great, doing really well. They've not bothered by any of the work that's been going on the tank. They never got stressed out by it. They just carried on their usual business, and the shrimp are everywhere, all over the plants, botanicals, the wood, grazing on the algae that's left, and any scraps of food that fall down, and just acting as a really good cleanup crew. Obviously not biotip correct, which is why I didn't originally plan to have many shrimp in here, but it's definitely been worth adding, and I'm hoping they help me keep the tank looking at its best. So yeah, that's it really. Wanted to get the video out to show you all what it's like after over a week worth of maintenance, and rather than wait an extra few weeks for the tank to actually start looking really at its best with the plants growing in. So watch out for some shorts maybe, and community posts, some photos and stuff that I'll post when it's really looking good. But yeah, that's about it. I'll plan to move some of the young zebra Danios that I'm growing on downstairs up into this tank when they're a bit bigger. So maybe I'll do another sort of update video on this tank when I've moved some of the young ones up. But other than that, that's it for today, and thanks so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, catch up soon.